Today's book of the day is Gambler by Billy Walters. And this book is an interesting one because he was actually on Joe Rogan recently talking about his whole life and how he had gone from, being very poor to eventually betting billions of dollars cumulatively on sports over the years. And Billy's considered the most successful sports bettor in history. So I picked up this book and I thought, there would be a lot of wisdom in here for myself and for people as well that not only bet on sports or gamble on sports depending on what kind of bets you're making, but also people that bet on themselves and bet on different things in business, because a lot of the same principles apply. And I was also inspired and wanted to read this book and bring it to you as the book of the day, because we missed a day yesterday since I was actually at the casino at the poker tables. And that's something important to point out too, because a lot of people will go to the casino or be on their phones nowadays because you can do it mobily and gamble. And there's something different between gambling and betting, because gambling, as far as I can tell, is more aligned with putting your money on something that clearly isn't a sure thing, but also that it's a higher risk, while betting is something that is calculated. And in a lot of ways you can make money betting, although if you bet like most people do on sports, it's a lot more difficult to make money, because if you're betting on just the lines that are given, you have to win more than 50% of the time to break even. And as we know, you have to be better than a coin flip. So betting on sports, it's not an easy way to make a living, but Billy in this book points out that there's three truths when it comes to the topic. And the first truth that he points out is when he says, "My bets are based on extensive research, a vast network of experts and insiders across the country, and my own finely honed instincts. Even avid bettors often do not grasp all the factors and variables that go into a professional making an informed wager. I've eaten, slept, and breathed sports betting 365 days a year for more than 5 decades, driven by my obsession to grind at an advantage against bookmakers and other gamblers." And this is something that people need to take into account, whether they're going to gamble on sports or gamble on things in their own lives, whether it's somebody that you're going to marry, a business partner you're going to take on, a business you're going to start, or different tactics you're going to use and strategies to build your business. It's really important to actually do the research at the beginning and throughout the whole process, because if you're just doing things based on a whim, based on feelings, eventually it's not going to turn out well for you, statistically speaking at least. So if you're going to bet and you're going to gamble on certain things in life, it really is best to do your research first, because then you can at least have an informed decision rather than something that's based on flipping a coin or a certain feeling one way or another. And this has clearly been a key to Billy's success, because he was using data back before it was as popular as it is now to make informed decisions. And the second truth he shares is that betting sports is about one thing and one thing only: value, which means your prediction needs to be better than the bookmakers, and you need to get the right number at the right price. Nothing else counts. And this is important too, because sometimes you'll have an opportunity that's presented to you, and it might be good, and you might like to bet your money or your career or your energy and time on it, but you also need to consider what the value of it is. Are you expecting to invest $10 in something that's going to pay you $100, or are you expecting to invest something that will cost you $10 and will only give you back $5, or will lose money in the long run? So it really is important not only to do your research, but also to make your decision based on the value that you're actually receiving from the decisions that you're making. And the third truth that he shares is the percentage of gamblers who are successful enough to earn a living is less than 1%. Frankly, I think most people would make more money washing cars. Why? The professional term, what this means is that you need to win 52.38% of your bets just to break even if you're betting on sports, or at least on the lines that are at minus 110 odds. And this makes it really tough to be successful in the long run. But there are things in life that you can bet on that are going to pay out differently than that. For example, if you start a business, it may only be a 10% chance of success. But on the cases and the instances where you succeed, the payout's way more than what you put in. So if you spend $1,000 or $500 to start a business or to fund a side project or a side hustle, and it pays off, it's going to pay you out way more than just the amount of money you invested. For example, if you start selling on Amazon and you have to invest $5,000 on your initial inventory, that inventory could profit you more than $5,000 on the first run. And if you keep reinvesting that in the future and double your money each time, that initial $5,000 you put in is going to be worth way more than what you initially started with. So what I really want to instill here is the importance of making asymmetric bets and putting your money on things that can pay you off and pay you out way more than what you initially put in. And that could be in the form of a business, it could be in the form of meeting someone that's going to connect you with other people and help raise your quality of life or your career, depending on what's important to you. And these are the bets that should be being made, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to make bets in life, you're going to have to gamble in life, but you don't always have to gamble on things that aren't going to have good payouts. You can gamble and bet on things such as yourself that you're more in control of, because when you're betting on a sports game, like I did earlier today, you don't have control of the outcome of that game. So you're taking a bet, based on statistics and based on your research, but it's not always going to pan out the way that you'd like. But if you take your time, energy, and money and invest in yourself, whether it's skills, whether it's buying a business, whether it's, taking a lower paying job that's going to have higher upside in the future, those are things that you can control and that you should be spending your time, energy, and money on, because the payout is going to be much higher than what you put in. And even if you fail several times at doing these things, eventually you'll get something right, and it's going to probably pay out a lot more than you would have expected to. So I hope you enjoyed today's book of the day. I know it was a little delayed because of yesterday not posting the video, but it's The Gambler by Billy Walters, and if you'd like to order the book yourself, I would recommend it, especially if you're into statistics, because he talks a lot of that later in the book and gets more technical into the sports gambling industry. So I hope you enjoyed today's book of the day, and we'll be back later today with today's actual book of the day. So thank you.